Hello everybody, you're welcome to Eula Beats. Today we want to show you guys how to make beats like Davido, Wizkid, just Afro beats that the African producers make. We understand that these beats can be very complicated as well as very simple, and we're going to show y'all the tips and tricks to get your own rhythm using your own creativity. Let's go. Okay, to get started, go ahead and open up FL Studio. Alright, so I'm not going to explain to you how to, and I'm not going to start from scratch making an Afro beat, but I'm going to open up one of my African beats that I worked on previously, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you all the kits and sounds that I use in there, and sounds that you can get and buy offline or get for free online that'll help you make your African beats. So when you first getting started with making an African beat, you have to figure out what tempo you want your beat in. For example, this beat is in 107. I know some producers like to start from 90 and go all the way up to 140 to make an Afro beat. Well, for me, I like to start this beat. I started at 107, and I like to keep in the 107 to 130 range just for my the African beats. Some of the producers on Eula Studio, they start from scratch and do all their stuff. Even if it's in 100 beat per minute, that's the BPM using the metronome. They like to start their stuff from that. Here, the first one I used is the rim, which is this pattern right here. It's kind of like a Jamaican style. Let's see what it sounds like. All right, you see the rim is just, it's simple. It has, just the basic rhythm to it. While we at it, let me show you guys this thing right here in this corner. This is called the main swing, or the swing as producers call it. This gives you the groove, the smoothness of the beat. When you have this on, it will make your sound not sound as mechanical. For example, let me turn this all the way up here, and so you can tell. Let's see what the rim sounds like now with it on. All right, now let's bring it down just a little bit. You see that smoothness? I don't know if you can hear it, but I'll show you guys with the clap. That'll be much better. All right, next on, I moved on to to this pattern right here. What I used was this sound. And it's basically a tom, and I just EQ'd it enough to where it sounds a little bit back in the background. This is what the pattern is. Yep, and that's basically it for that. Next, I started with the kick. The kick is very basic, same sounding. It doesn't do too much. All right, and then I moved on to the clap. Basic African claps. The rhythm for it is like ta 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 ta, and then some people mix it up at the end, which I did in this area. Just put one extra in the middle. This is what this sounds like. All right, remember the swing that I said we were going to try? Let's go ahead and try it now and see what it sounds like. Now let's bring it down just a little bit back to where it was at a 31%. Now, can you really hear the difference between the swing. It doesn't sound so mechanical when you have that swing with it. All right. Next, I used Purity. Purity. If you want to make African beats, I would say you should get Purity. Find it on the web. Buy it online. Do what you can to get it. I used the Bell Perk Sticky Wood. Purity has most of the African sounds that the producers used on there. So this is the pattern that I used right now for this one. And that's basically it, and it repeats itself. Next one I went to is another Purity. I believe this is a piccolo, is a wood wind. I use this for the pre-chorus in the beat, and this is what it sounds like. And that's basically it for that. Again, this is using Purity. Alright, this is the next pattern. This is another Purity. This is the glad bass. So with African beats, your bass is the most, I would say, your most underlying, most important thing to have in there, because the bass give it that groove that you need, that gets people's head moving. And every African beat that you have, all of them have this great bass behind it. This is my bass. It's very simple, but it still gives it the groove that is needed. And here you hear a little bit of delay, and that's because of the swing. Remember the swing we added to this swing right here? That's why you hear this delay back there. Next one, I use this Track God. Track God is a very good instrument plug-in that's really good. You can use it. I use it for African beats. I use it for trap beats. You know, hip hop, anything R&B, pop. It has a bunch of presets on it. For this one, I used the hopper sign to help that wood wind to support it. Alright, that was just the Track God one. Next, I had another Track God supporting this sound. And with this Track God, I believe this was a dub nothing, and this is what it sounded like. Alright, with African beats, you have your highs, your mids, and your lows. The lows are the bass, the mids are this piano sound thing that is just mellow and it sounds really good in the middle. And then your highs was that little this sound that I used for that. Let's see, was it 8? Yeah. And that's basically a sound, your highs, and you know it gives it that high feeling and that bell sounding feeling to it. Next, we went to the shakers. The shakers are one of the important perks you need. Because of the swing, the shakers give it that really good feel to it. This is what it sounds like. Alright, that's basically it for that. I like my shakers going to kind of like a giddy up sound to it. Later you'll see I have hi-hats in there that make it really sound like a horse moving, galloping through space. So we'll see that. Next, I use the tom basic pattern. And that's basically it for that. Another tom. This is what Davido uses in most of Davido's producers uses in most of his beats instruments. It's just like dun dun. Yeah, that's basically it. Do it every now and then. Alright. Next, this one is a transition. The transition lets the artist know that something's coming up, or if this is the rapping part, or is this the verse 1, the chorus, or whatever it is. This is my transition. I use Purity for this. I use the wood block. Well, this particular kit. I know Techno's producer used this kit in one of Techno Miles' song. I know you'll understand what I'm saying once you hear it. So this is what it sounds like. Yep, and I know you hear that sound before in Techno Miles' song. Let's play that again. All right, next song, I got a bass going on. Well, not a bass, a guitar going on in the background, and it's assisting the bass. I have the jazz on, and this is a default preset from FL Studio. If you go to your packs, your instruments, your guitars, and you'll see jazz right here, and basically the same thing that I'm using in this beat. This is what it sounds like. All right. For this, the next one I use is a hi-hat, and this is what I'm talking about, the giddy up sound, like a horse going through space. This is what it sounds like. And yeah, that's basically it for that hi-hat. You see how I got it going. It gives it more groove, and the percentage of this is not really too high, too low. It's just right in the middle. You don't want your hi-hats too loud, even though the hi-hats are what give it even more, bump to it. And then this is the another transition I did to let the artist know that, oh, the chorus is coming, or the chorus is about to end, or the rapping part is coming, whatever it is. This is how you do it. And most African beats, they have this in it. This is what it sounds like all together. All right, this right here, I used a clap, and all I did was just roll them and then spin them off, and from low to high. This is what it sounds like. All right, then the next one is just a tom, basic tom. Yeah, that's basically it for that. And then this one is just a shout. Yeah, that's basically it for that. Hey, if you want this shout, if you don't have it, I have a bunch of shouts. Just go ahead and put in a comment if you really want it. I can, put in a comment and say, oh, Yulad, we need this shout, and I'll go ahead and send it to you. Let us know. Let's go ahead. And the next one that I used is a second part of that purity, the one I said that sounded like that Techno Miles producer used. I used the second one for that, and this is what it sounds like. Yeah, and that just keeps the beat alive, so I don't use the same thing over and over again. Next one, I use a kind of like a I guess you can say a bell. Yeah, it's called Die Today. It's a bell, and this is what it sounds like. Yep, and that's basically it for that one. Next one, I used the purity, is soft mallet, bell and perk. This is what it sounds like. And it's just, this is for the second part of the chorus to give it the extra groove. Alright, and the only thing else that I use in this beat is a rise, and this is what the rise sound like. Alright, then next was this reverb clap that I have. If you don't have this clap, I can send it to you. It's not, this is my own mix hat clap that I have. Each ULED producer have their own kit on their FL Studio, and this is what they use. This is my personal one. And it's really not that hard to make these claps. You can go ahead and draw in the clap, open up the mixer channels, and go to the slot, whatever slot, and open up a reverb, and then put the, once you have the reverb open, put the wet sign a little bit up, and put the DEC a little bit even like that. You'll have it. If you want, you could do that kind of pattern thing, and that gives it that effect that you hear in there. And then that's basically it for this beat. Let's hear what it sounds like, and then I'll add extra more features to it. Let's go ahead and see that. And that's basically it for the chorus, the intro. That's basically it for that. If you like, here is verse 1. It's pretty much the same thing. The reason Eula Studio, we tell the producers to keep the beats very, especially verse 1, to keep it all the same, is because we rather artists add something themselves using another program, rather than try to take out something that we put in there. So I think that's why we have the verse 1, just the same thing. Listen to it. Alright, that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you like Eula Studios tutorials, you can subscribe to the channel. We post tutorials mostly on Saturdays. We have a beat studio online called eulastudio.com. You can go check out our beats, or even check out our beats on YouTube right here at this channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys again. Thank y'all.